The debaters are going to present all their points in the presentation and rebuttal rounds because the closing round is reserved for convincing the judges beyond a reasonable doubt of why their argument is superior. I'm sure both Abiel and Shulammite know this, right?
Yes.
Good. Remember that during a rebuttal round, you are to first refute your opponent's points before adding your own point. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Good.
All right. There's a possibility, slim, but possible, that you could tie after your 3 rounds. If that happens, we'll take you both to a tiebreaker round. In that tiebreaker round, well, you just switch sides. Okay? Whatever position you had held during the debate, you'll reverse it and argue the position previously argued by your opponent. After which, we will break that tie one way or another, and the winning debater will qualify for the round of 16. At this point, it's time for us to do that ritual where we determine who is arguing for or against the motion.
That's right. The debaters know their topic. We are going to find out how they'll debate now. They were, of course, told to prepare for both sides of the topic. Right, Shulammite and Abiel? Good.
Do you support or do you oppose the motion? Abiel picks, Shulammite picks the remainder. One of them is going to be happy. The other one, you know. Abiel, you seem happy. What did you pick?
Support.
You're supporting. You're happy to support.
Yes, I am.
Shulammite, were you hoping to pick support?
I was hoping on both sides.
Okay.
Yeah, good to go. You couldn't
then.
be bothered. I like you already.
Lagos, the topic for this hour is: must or should cultural heritage sites be protected during armed conflict? Abiel will say yes. Shulammite will say not really. They know the topic, they have the topic, they know what side they will debate. All that is left to do now, Femi, is debate. That's right.
Yep. Before they do debate, however, we'll take a quick break, let them breathe in their positions, and when we come back, it will be showtime.
Absolutely.
The first week of I Beg to Differ Season 8 is over, with 16 more players left in the playoffs. At 4 p.m. on Monday, Shulammite, Ikenna and Abiel Yunusa face off on the topic: should cultural heritage sites be protected during armed conflict? And at 5 p.m., Mwagu Olachi Vanessa will face Ochia Odibe Charisma. Their topic is: state governors should not have immunity cover. So far, 8 debaters have advanced to the round of 16, and 8 more will join them in week 2. I am Yvonne Okhaifo. Join Femi, Obong-Daniels and me on Monday to unravel the first 2 debaters to progress to the round of 16 in the new week. I Beg to Differ Season 8. 32 debaters, now 16. 1 winner, 1 million naira. Sponsored by Tollywood College, supported by Biloxi, Obiwizi, Lucas Green Fashion, Card Center Nigeria Limited, and Quadras Group. I Beg to Differ, a tournament of champions.
All right, welcome one, welcome all. It's debate time. It's time, well, to jaw, like they say. And maybe add a little bit of war in there, because the debates they tend to get feisty sometimes. Let us see what is in the offing as we go into this 9th debate on this 5th day of the debate, rounding off our round of 16 all the way to Thursday when we close the round of 32, and commence the round of 16 next week. Yvonne.
That's right. We are streaming live on Facebook and on YouTube. You should join the live streams. We're also airing this debate on Kids FM. The dial is 101.7 FM. It is time now to debate. And for this round, we will revert to the motion supporter. The motion is: must or should cultural heritage sites be protected during armed conflict? Abiel Yunusa will say yes. She now gets 4 minutes to do so.
Your time starts when Yvonne says so.
Winston Churchill once said, "The farther back you can look, the farther forward you are likely to see." Good evening, panel of judges, meticulous timekeeper, my fellow debater, and my virtual audience. My name is Abiel Yunusa, and I stand before you to propose the motion, cultural heritage sites must be protected during armed conflict. While UNESCO identified cultural heritage sites as inclusive of artifacts, monuments, buildings, or sites with religious, historic, scientific, or artistic significance, the United Nations designates armed conflicts as all cases of war which may arise between two or more high contrasting parties. Cultural heritage sites are invaluable not only for their historic or artistic significance, but for their role in shaping the identities of individuals. Unfortunately, destroying these sites diminishes the culture of a nation by severing links between generations. For conceptualization purposes, if a Buddhist were to travel to the Bodh Gaya in India but finds it destroyed, then 520 million believers have lost their prized pilgrimage. Should a Muslim travel to Mecca but find it ruined, then 2.04 billion believers have lost their spiritual compass. Any destruction of cultural property, irregardless of who it belongs to, is a destruction of the cultural heritage of the world because every people contribute to the world's culture, says the 1954 Hague Convention, which also warns that armed conflicts leads to the mass destruction of cultural heritage sites, which diminishes the culture of a nation and weakens the prospects of conciliation. Let's take a trip down memory lane. During the transatlantic slave trade, over 10.5 million Africans were transported all over the world, with the vast majority of those practicing traditional African religions. According to a study by the minority rights group led by Joshua Castanello, 50.1% of Brazilians have either black or mixed heritage, and out of these, 22% of them have Yoruba heritage. Now that is Brazil alone. Imagine the excitement one of them would feel visiting the Osun-Osogbo Grove in Nigeria or the Ifa Mobile Heritage Museum in Rio de Janeiro. They get to connect with their roots in a way they could have never imagined. But if these are destroyed, wouldn't we have an alarming rate of diasporic Nigerians disillusioned about their identity? Furthermore, cultural heritage sites are crucial to a country's tourism industry, attracting visitors and economic benefits. Imagine Egypt without the Great Pyramids of Giza. Imagine Rome without its magnificent Colosseum. Imagine China without the Great Wall. According to UNESCO, the Great Wall of China is one of the world's most popular landmarks, marking a total revenue of around $776 million per year. However, if this was to be destroyed during the Boxers' Rebellion, the Sino-Japanese War, or the Chinese Civil War, then all that profit would be gone. Profit that goes towards helping struggling economies with food, accommodation, and water. Lastly, cultural heritage site destruction doesn't only erase history but contribute to environmental pollution. The bombing of Hiroshima and Nagasaki are stark examples of how this violence devastates not only people but the environment. The atomic bombs exploded, destroying irreplaceable landmarks like the Hiroshima Castle, while also spreading toxic material that infected the air, water, and soil. According to a study by the Radiation Effects Research Foundation, over 75% of infants were born with abnormalities after the destruction. This, along with the loss of irreplaceable landmarks, shows the long-lasting damage that these destructions have on individuals. To conclude, I leave you with this question. If the source of your values, customs, and beliefs were passionately destroyed because of a disagreement escalated beyond control, how would you really feel? Thank you.
Well done, Abiel. Well done.
And so she opens her argument with plenty of bluster. Some cigars, if you ask me. Not that the young lady smokes, but you do get the point. It's time for her opponent to open her side of the story.
Absolutely. Shulammite, it is time.
Can we truly call ourselves civilized if we choose to protect cultural sites instead of protecting lives? Before I proceed to my main arguments, let me give honor to whom honor deserves. Good day, Mr. Chairman, panel of impartial judges, accurate timekeeper, co-debaters, and listeners. Today, Shulammite Ikenna, a bona fide ambassador if your tears are coming to senior high school, stands to oppose the motion that says cultural heritage sites must be protected during armed conflicts. In armed conflict, the immediate reality is stark. Human lives are paramount. The urgency to safeguard life should outweigh preserving cultural sites. In armed conflict, human life should take precedence over preserving cultural heritage. When bombs are falling and lives are at stake, can we truly justify the allocation of resources to safeguard structures that, while historically significant, do not provide food, shelter, or clothing for those affected? I will leave that to you. Now, my opponent has mentioned that the Great Wall of China serves as a place for tourism to come and visit. But let me ask you, can you go to China without people living in it? You say no, because you want to go to a place where people will welcome you. Now, can we? The military necessity prioritizes living people, but the World War II states that.
Pace yourself. You have time.
feel free and use your headphones. It will come. Take your time. Take your time. It will come.
We all have a moral imperative to safeguard our cultural sites, but it's more moral if we safeguard human lives. Cultural sites plays a crucial role, but human lives are priceless. Now, imagine a world where there are no people left to appreciate cultural sites. We understand that cultural sites is important, but how can you live in a world where there are no humans to appreciate it? According to the World Bank, the tourism sector can account for up to 10% of some countries' GDP, but the destruction of this site can lead to long-lasting economic repercussions. But what would you say if the tourism can account for 10%? How many percent do you think the human population will account for that? Now, the tourism sites, the cultural heritage site serves as a symbol of peace. I understand that, but during conflicts, can you prioritize peace without leaving people?
All right. Are you okay? You still have some time.
She has 1 more minute.
You have
time.
a minute. You have time to gather your thoughts.
According to Guterres Antonio, the Secretary General of the United Nations, he says human safety should trump cultural heritage in the UN News 2017. So in all we do, human safety should always trump cultural heritage. And Medicine Sans Frontières says the International Committee of Red Cross warns that cultural sites can become battlegrounds in the International Committee ICRC 2020. So can we afford to risk life for structures and buildings? Doesn't our collective humanity explains that we should prioritize humanity over cultural sites? With that, I conclude.
Well done.
Thank you very much. Again, thank you doubly for soldiering on, even when you had to deal with certain freezes.
Remember that if you weren't able to remember some of your points in the presentation round, you have time in the rebuttal rounds to do so, okay? But first, you must refute your opponent's points before adding extra points of your own. And if you freeze at any point, don't worry. Until the bell goes off, you have time, okay? We'll take a quick break, and when we come back, you will hear the rebuttal round. Stay here.
Tollywood College is a modern co-educational day school poised to provide a perfect learning environment for students between the ages of 10 and 16. We are dedicated to innovation and excellence in teaching and learning. I'm talking about research, scholarship, creative activities, service, and public engagement. You will find that innovation and excellence in all these fields when you meet a Tollywood College student. We aim to create students that are successful, lifelong learners, confident individuals, and responsible citizens of society. We want our students to be proud of themselves and their school through the values of integrity, inclusiveness, responsiveness, accountability, collaboration, and sustainability. At Tollywood College, we arm our students with technological supremacy and help integrate it to values, morals, and our cultural legacy. The school curriculum has been painstakingly planned on scientific guidelines to provide students with intellectual stimulation, physical robustness, social adaptability, emotional independence, and leadership qualities. It is my pleasure to welcome you to this beautiful citadel of learning, an experience like no other at Tollywood College, where potentials are unlocked and given premium value. For inquiries, kindly contact us at the email address info@tollywoodcollege.com. That is info@tollywoodcollege.com, or go to the website at www.tollywoodcollege.com. I repeat, www.tollywoodcollege.com. You could also go to the physical address to see things for yourself at Kilometer 43, Lekki Ekpe Expressway by Canaan Land Estate, Shongo Tedo, Aja, Lagos. Rest assured, we will be waiting.
Welcome back. Season 8, I beg to differ students debate on Nigeria info. Also joined by our sister station, baby sister station, Kids FM.
That's right. The dial is 101.7 FM. 101.7. You can catch the debate on Kids FM. We're also streaming live on Facebook and on YouTube. So join the live streams to interact with fellow viewers and see what is happening here in the studio.
Special thanks to all our sponsors, supporters, and partners. Tollywood Group of Schools, thank you very much. Our prize partners, thanks to Obi Weezy, thanks to Lucas Green Fashion. Those are gadget and fashion plugs. Thanks to CCNL, that's Card Central, Nigeria Limited, and of course, Biloxi, and Codros. It's time now for the rebuttal round.
Yes, and for this round, we will start with the motion opposer. The motion is, must or should cultural heritage sites be protected during armed conflict? Shulammite says no. Abiel says yes. For this round, we will begin with Shulammite.
Before we go, you want to use your headphones, please? Okay? If you're not going to... Okay, is it too loud for you?
Yes.
It's too loud for you. Okay. It's okay like this.
All right. Then.
Okay.
All right, Shulammite, it is time to refute your opponent's point. Remember that when you're done refuting her points and you have extra points to add, you can do so.
My opponent has argued, and she has argued well, that cultural site is vital for future generations. But the recent destruction in places like the ancient city of Palmyra, covered by BBC News in 2015, and Yemen by Al Jazeera in 2016, and Aleppo, covered by the Guardian News in 2020, demonstrate irreparable loss. Can we afford to risk life for structures and buildings? Doesn't our collective humanity ensure human life takes precedence over heritage? After the conflict, rebuilding sites can take place, but can we afford to rebuild lives? No, that's only God that can do that, and we have to wait for the paradise to come. Now, this here is a sheet of paper. This sheet of paper will represent our cultural heritage site, and I don't have a flower here, but I would like you all to imagine a flower. Like I said, this sheet of paper represents our cultural heritage. Now I squeeze this sheet of paper. It represents that our cultural heritage site has been destroyed. Now, with much consideration, with much patience, I can straighten up this piece of paper back, and it shows that our cultural sites can be rebuilt after they are destroyed. But imagine a flower, a wilted flower. Once you uproot it from its roots, it shows that the flower doesn't have much time to survive. That's what happened to humans during armed conflicts. And once the person dies, that's once the flower wilts completely, it shows that the flower is dead. You can't pick that flower up and smoothen it, and you can call the best doctors, call the best surgeons, but that flower will never come to life. While this sheet of paper, I can call the best historians, I can call the best architects, and they will smoothen this sheet of paper, even if it will have scars at the end. But with time, those scars will erase. So my opponent, let me hear your point, please.
Are you done?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, goodness. You spared all of 2.5 minutes. All right. Interesting, Yvonne.
Interesting indeed, Femi.
Time now for her opponent, Abiel, to rebut.
With all protocols duly observed, I'd like to rebut points stated by my opponents. My opponent stated that humanitarian needs are more important than protecting cultural heritage sites. However, saying that the protection of cultural heritage sites would immediately remove all humanitarian needs is actually just a false dichotomy. In most scenarios, they put them hand in hand to make sure that these sites are protected while still protecting humanitarian needs. Additionally, my opponent stated that if there are no people in the world, that the having cultural heritage sites would be irrelevant. However, I do not think that it's realistic to say that the destruction of cultural heritage, like war, would make all people in the world to disappear. I think that even with wars like World War II or World War I that had a lot of countries involved in it, it did not destroy the entire world. So you cannot say that there are no people in the entire world. However, additionally, you also stated that you cannot rebuild people's lives, but you can rebuild these sites. Yes, that is true. That is valid. However, you cannot rebuild the source of... You cannot rebuild how they would feel being inside these sites physically. You cannot... This is their life. This is their identity. This is their culture. This is their values. You cannot just displace that because you think that, oh, they would not be relevant if people are dead. Additionally, you also spoke, my opponent also spoke about people's lives being, like people not having lives, but the cultural heritage sites being in perfect condition. But I'd like to ask you, if the cultural heritage sites are destroyed, yet there are people, the cultural heritage sites will build their source of community and identity. And if this is not there, then there are just going to be people walking around that have no identity, no culture, nothing that builds them or keeps them in common. And it's just going to be a group of people with nothing that links them to all the same thing that they have in common. So that is just irrelevant. Thank you.
All right. Well, interesting. Ever remember a time, Yvonne, when the rebuttal round left us this much time, over 2 minutes?
I cannot recall, Femi.
Fantastic. How magnanimous and generous of you two. We'll take another break. When we come back, it will be time for the closing arguments.
Obiwizi is Nigeria's pioneer e-commerce platform for pre-owned gadgets. They are Nigeria's home of gadgets with warranties, where you can purchase all your favorite devices and quality accessories, both brand new and pre-owned. You can also trade in your older devices for a newer model in a simple and convenient way. To crown it all, when you decide to sell off that device of yours to meet that important cash obligation, Obiwizi is your guy. Literally your guy. With offline and pickup stores in Ikeja, Lekki, Abuja, and Benin, Obiwizi delivers nationwide. So make sure you are following Obiwizi on Instagram at Obiwizi Backup Page. Yes, that is on Instagram. You could send an email to the email address info@obiwizi.com or go to the website at www.obiwizi.com. They're also on X at Obiwizi. Literally Obiwizi. Obiwizi is spelled Obiwezi. Yes, Obiwizi. Follow them on all pages, of course, all social media platforms, and get that device of your dreams.
Welcome back. This is season 8 of I Beg to Differ Students Debate. It's day 5, debate number 9. It pits Shulammite Ikenna against Abiel Yunusa. We've seen the first 2 rounds. Time to close.
That's right. And for this round, we will revert to the motion supporter. Abiel, it is time to rest your case.
With all protocols duly observed, I'm here to finally rest my case and show why I believe that cultural heritage sites must be protected during armed conflict. Cultural heritage sites are invaluable. They are what shape the community and shape people's identities, and you cannot just discard that. Continually, there are military rules and there are laws, but like the Hague Convention and the Geneva Conventions of 1954 and 1949 respectively, which show that the protection of these sites should take place. It also has the military objectives in mind, which also show that it should not be intentional destruction. Like, it's only when it's unavoidable that this should happen. So it takes account to military objectives. Continually, the transatlantic slave trade. There are a lot of diasporic people all over the world that do not even know where their roots are or where they come from. Destroying their roots will just make this worse, because we cannot have a whole world of people that have something in common that do not even know that they have something in common. Continually, the tourism industry. A lot of countries get money through the tourism industry, like Italy, like France, and like many other countries. Their main source of income is the tourism industry. So we cannot destroy what creates their source of income, because if a country has a low GDP, then there will be recession, and if there is recession, that will be bad for the entire economy. Continually, pollution. The Hiroshima and Nagasaki, till this day, there are still people born there with abnormalities, all because of destructions of irreplaceable sites like the Hiroshima Castle and many others. Continually, if the source of your beliefs, traditions, and values were destroyed, I do not think that you would feel like, oh, I can just go and rebuild this, but I cannot lose the life. It's more important. The cultural sites that we are talking about are more important than all the other things, and they should be upheld, because if they are not upheld, then even if people die, if people are still alive, then they would have nothing to keep them in common, and they would just be wandering around Lampard and wouldn't know anything about their lives. So with all that being said, I hope I've been able to convince you that cultural heritage sites must be protected during armed conflict. Thank you.
Okay. Our argument is over. Thank you very much. 15-year-old Abiel Yunusa. She's in SS2 at Day Waterman College. The rest is her case. Her opponent, the equally 15-year-old SS3 student of Etiosa Community Senior High School, Shulammite Ikenna, will now conclude.
Shulammite, your time starts now.
While cultural heritage is important, we must not overlook humanity. Let us ask ourselves, what kind of future do we want to build? One where we prioritize heritage over humanity? Is that what we want to teach future generations? As we weigh competing priorities, let us remember that humans are the true guardians of heritage, and the power of cultural heritage lies in its ability to inspire and educate future generations. UNESCO audibly reminds us in 2017. I'll leave you with a passing quote by Mahatma Gandhi. It says, strength does not come from physical fitness. It comes from an indomitable will to make a choice. Not just any choice, to make the right choice. To make the choice of prioritizing humanity over cultural heritage. As the true essence of heritage lies in living people and not in animate objects. Cultural heritage is precious, but human lives is priceless. Let us make the right choice now.
I'm assuming you ended. Thank you very much. At Shulammite Ikenna of Etiosa Community Senior High School. This debate, interesting debate, plenty of comments. We'll read some of them, especially the ones we're seeing on Facebook, but it has come to an end, Yvonne.
That's right. Now it is up to the judges.
I'm tempted to take a few comments, but those are introductory comments. We might as well share some of them, and I'm at Facebook, and some of the comments. Elias Abe Makinde says, congrats and best of luck, guys. Wese Jerry says, wow, such a beautiful performance from the two beautiful brain ladies in house. Wish you guys all the best. Sikiru Kadiri, all the best to the two beautiful debaters in the house. Alegbe Benny says, today na today. More comment from Akobundu Godson Uju were talking about the beret. Remove the beret. Anyodele Olumide says, Shulammite Ikenna, what a way to pass the baton. Abiel, let us hear your point as requested. You asked, you've heard. And what do you think of it? Pretty interesting. We'll take a quick break to allow our judges put pen to paper and finalize.
Before we take that break, what does that man have? What grouse does he have with her beret? Leave the beret alone.
Don't tell him it's the beret. It's beret.
Leave it
the beret.
alone.
It is affecting you.
Lagos.
And your daily responder as April Bros. Be nice now. Anyway, thank you, both of you, for that spirited debate and for the comeback. The comeback was beautiful.
That's right. I have to give it to you, Shulammite. You held your own despite the hitches that you experienced. You held your own, and that is something worth applauding. It takes courage to stay even when you're afraid, even when it's like your brain has frozen. It takes courage to carry on. So well done to you, Shulammite.
It happens to the best of us.
Absolutely.
Don't worry about it.
Absolutely.
We'll be back after hearing from Lucas Green Fashion.
Lucas Green is offering something special. Get 2 stunning dresses, 2 fabulous jumpsuits, a chic top with your choice of skirts or trousers, all for just 160,000 naira. But don't wait. Pre-order by November 30th to grab this exclusive bundle. Delivered just 25 days after payment. Hurry, cause styles like this don't last long. Message us on WhatsApp at 070-328-67011 to place your order today. Lucas Green, bringing your custom look to life. Or visit our Instagram at womenwear_by_Lucas Green or our website at www.womenswearbylucasgreen.com. Lucas Green is offering.
Thank you, Lucas Green. We heard you the first time. Thank you. All right. You heard the debate. It's time now to go to the results in a bit, and then we'll take some of your comments some more. Where is our suspense bed? Here you are. Okay, let's get to this. So the results are out. Pay attention. I will go to the results one after the other. Follow through. I'll start with your presentation round. George Amma scored Shulammite 8. And Abiel 16. Abiel 16. George Ufoma scores Abiel 15 and Shulammite 6. Chief Judge Chike scores Abiel 12 and Shulammite 6 for a total of 43 points to 20 in favor of Abiel. Rebuttal round. Judge Amma scores Abiel 6.5, Shulammite 4.5. Judge Ufoma scores Abiel 6, Shulammite 5.5. Chief Judge Chike scores Abiel 6.5, Shulammite 5.5. We come to the closing rounds. Oh, by the way, for your rebuttal rounds, it's 19 to 15.5 advantage Abiel. Closing rounds, Judge Amma scores Abiel 6, Shulammite 6.5. Judge Ufoma scores Abiel 7, Shulammite 7. Chief Judge Chike scores Abiel 5.5, Shulammite 7 for a total closing round of 18.5 to Abiel and 20.5 to Shulammite, which brings us to the total, grand total. For Abiel, you got a total of 28.5 from Judge Amma, 28 from Judge Ufoma, and 24 from Chief Judge Chike for a total of 80.5. Shulammite, you got a total of 19 from Judge Amma, 18.5 from Judge Ufoma, and 18.5 from Chief Judge Chike for a total of 56. With love from Diction Coach and Judge Yvonne Okhaifo. I was going to say Okhaifonetics. Yvonne Okhaifonetics. You have a total deduction score of 1 point, Abiel, which brings your score to 79.5. Shulammite, you have a total diction infraction deduction score of 3, which brings your final total to 53. So it is decided the winner of this debate from Day Waterman College, Abiel Yunusa. Congratulations, Abiel. Congratulations. How do you feel?
Good.
Did you say good or great?
Yeah, good.
You feel great?
Yeah, great.
Congratulations, you progress.
Shulammite, I feel like this would have been much better, but something just happened today. Perhaps it wasn't your day, but I know that you're a brilliant young lady. I know that you're a brilliant debater. So don't let this get to you, okay? Do not let this get to you. Don't feel bad for it. Yes, feel bad that you lost, because you know that it could have been better, but you have another chance next year to enter the competition if you choose. You can come back in March, okay? And I expect that when you come back in March, you come back with more fire, all right? but well done to you still. I must say once more that I'm proud of you for not quitting, for not just burying your head down or saying, you know what, I'm done. I'm proud of you for continuing despite that freeze that you had. And to you, Abiel, well done. You're quite a composed debater. Well done to both of you. Well, here are a few things that I'd like for both of you to note, okay? It is important, not important. All right, to both of you, it is important. Okay, not important. The A at the end isn't as aspirated as you would expect or as you would hope. So it is important, okay? And it is indomitable, not indomitable, indomitable to both of you. Don't worry, I didn't penalize you for both. I'm just saying, note these, okay? Indomitable. And of course, it is honor, not honor. All right, Shulammite, it is honor. And it is to whom honor is due, not to whom honor deserves. Okay? So you say to whom honor is due. And then to both of you, I'll simply say you have to pay attention to the rule of subject-verb agreement. All right? Because I came across, I heard some statements like cultural sites plays a crucial role. You're talking about more than one cultural site. So there was no need for the S in the verb. Cultural sites play a crucial role, or a cultural site plays a crucial role, as the case, as you wish to say. Cultural heritage sites also, one of you said cultural, and that was Shulammite, by the way. Cultural heritage sites serves as a cultural heritage sites serve. Okay, you're referring to more than one site. And then to you, Abiel, there's a difference between the subjunctive and the indicative mood, okay? When you use the subjunctive mood, you're referring to something hypothetical, something that didn't really happen, all right? It is hypothetical. So we usually use where. If I were a boy, I'd wear fancy shoes. I'm not a boy, I'm a girl, I'm a woman, right? Not if I was a boy. If I were a boy, if it were raining outside, I would stay inside. It's not raining outside right now. So the subjunctive mood always goes with the verb were, all right, as opposed to was. Was is more indicative. You use that when you're referring to something that actually happened. And I say this to point to you referring to your reference to one of those sites, those heritage sites, and you said if this was to be destroyed, it wasn't destroyed. All right, and there was no need for it to be. If it were destroyed, that would have even been, simpler. Okay, so just note the difference between the subjunctive mood and the indicative mood. All right. Again, I didn't penalize you for that. I just thought to point that out to both of you. Okay. All
right. Great debate. Who went to Médecins Sans Frontières?
Oh, she did. She did.
Okay.
Yes.
So. Oh yeah, I mean it was French. You struggled with it, but
I didn't penalize her for that.
Yes, certainly. But do you know what it means in English?
Yes, it's doctors with no.
Doctors without borders.
Yes, without borders.
Yes, without borders. Yes, doctors without borders. It would have helped you if you had just stuck to it, because it's doctors without borders. Okay, but well done, both of you. I look forward to seeing you again. Season 8 continues with the second Lagos Regional Finals, which will be early in the coming year, perhaps February or so. And we'll be looking out for your entry, because
yes,
I think you're a good debater.
I agree, and her entry was quite impressive, which is why I know that she's not only is she a good debater, she's also a resilient one.
Very resilient.
Because it takes courage to, despite freezing up, to still carry on. It takes tremendous courage, and I have to say again, well done to you, Shulammite.
And there were things about you that I noticed that were special and quite unique. Sometimes the way you end.
Yes.
The way you hand, at one point, did you say something like, I would like to hear what my opponent has to say about that?
Yes, let's hear you.
That was a grand way to finish. So you're a fantastic debater.
Absolutely.
I would like to see and hear you again. All right. So the first debate is down. Congratulations to Abiel Yunusa, SS2 student of Day Waterman College. This 15-year-old will be back towards the end of next week for her round of 16 debate.
Absolutely.
She'll be going up against whoever wins the next debate. So we'll probably still have her stick around.
Yes.
Once we have both debaters in the studios, we'll go through the rituals of choosing
how they will debate, and of course
both the topic and how they will debate. So you will know how you will debate in the round of 16.
Yes,
today.
and she will also get her topic today.
Brilliant. All right. Do you have some comments to take?
Yes, I do, Femi. This one says, beautiful and very impressive comeback by Shulammite, irrespective of the outcome. Absolutely, I agree with you. This one says, those children are wonderful. Keep it up. Kudos. Jerry from Ogun State with that one. And then this one says, the topic for today is not really fair to the student opposing the motion. How would they stand a chance in this debate? I beg to differ. You didn't leave a name. Oh, Williams, I guess. Okay, Williams, I beg to differ. It's quite a fair debate, actually, fair topic.
Well, I think Shulammite did justice to it, going into in a war situation. I read somebody's comment, clap back to a special report on how great dogs were as man's best friend, and you would think that there's no question dogs are man's best friend, only for somebody to say, yeah, because of your article last year X number of children died because people spent X amount of money caring for dogs because of your comment. So it really doesn't matter. It's about an approach, and I like Shulammite's approach where she talks about war scenario. Heritage sites are they more important than human lives?
Yes. At
that point, prioritizing and all of that, I give her credit. Unfortunately, because she she had those occasional freezes, we didn't get to hear as many points.
Exactly. I totally agree that
as she would have loved to make, and that could happen to
anybody. Yes. So it's not about the topic, Williams. It isn't. It really isn't about the topic. It wasn't about the topic. This one. This one is referring to the comments that someone made about Shulammite's beret. It says, don't mention my name.
Yvonne, beret.
I could never bring myself to say.
Sorry, it's beret, right? It's beret.
I could never bring myself to say that.
But I cannot not read that in what I presume in my head is the voice of the right.
I absolutely agree, but I could never, ever
take off that your beret.
Please
it's affecting you.
But it says, is the beret yellow or blue or pink? The person asking her to remove it may be a cultist. Speak for yourself, sir. Come and answer. Let's hear you.
I don't know.
Are you a cultist?
Can you take one more comment or so?
I believe
we got 40 seconds.
I believe these are all the comments here for now.
All right, guys. Special thanks to all the guys who make it work. Tunde Abdul Salam, who's making sure you can see us and watch the live stream on Facebook and YouTube. And of course, the rest of the guys, Ken Odueme, and of course, Olamide Fadoju, with Sheriff Quadri producing and making sure we are good to go. We'll take a break. When we come back, it will be time for the second debate of the evening. Stick around.
Tollywood College is a modern co-educational day school poised to provide a perfect learning environment.
You are listening to your number one station for talk.
99.3 Nigeria Info.
99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk. 99.3 Nigeria Info. We are more than just radio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Nigeria Info FM. Check us out on Facebook at Nigeria Info 99.3. Follow us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM and on Instagram at Nigeria Info FM Lagos for live updates as it happens. 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's